So you're curious about the 10 bodies in yoga, the Vayus, the Pranic body, and you should be. This information is life-changing, but often misunderstood. I specialize in yoga for personal transformation, and I've helped thousands of people get started with yoga, mastering the basics, all the way through to certifying online with me to learn how to become their own best teacher. And this subtle body wisdom is some of my favorite content to talk about. To start, let's define this word prana. In Sanskrit, it means life force, and it is often used synonymously to refer to the breath in English taught yoga classes. Although in this video here, I'll detail why that isn't exactly accurate. But for now, we can agree that prana means energy, and that means your pranic body is your energy body. You're likely acutely aware of the fact that you have a physical body, and you know from high school science that this physical body can be looked at through different lenses. It can be subdivided for study. For example, we could focus on the skeletal system, the nervous system, the cardiovascular system, or the reproductive system. Similarly to how we can divide the physical body into pieces for study, we can subdivide the pranic or energy body into different pieces for study. And that's exactly what Yogi Bhajan, the controversial founder of Kundalini Yoga in the Western world, did when he introduced this idea of the 10 bodies. He presented this framework for us to understand our energetic anatomy. It's still complex, but I'm going to do my best to keep it as practical as possible. So the first body in Yogi Bhajan's system is the soul body. Think of the soul body as, are you connected to your soul's purpose? According to the ancient wisdom of yoga, you are a special snowflake incarnated at this exact moment in time on planet Earth for a reason. You have a special gift to give. You have something to contribute. So the soul body is that energy of, are you here? Living from the heart, connected to soul-fulfilling work, or are you just living in your brain? In spiritual circles, we often hear this called alignment. Are you living in alignment with a deep sense of purpose, or are you kind of just going through the motions? The second, third, and fourth bodies I'm going to talk about as a unit because I think they're easier to understand in context of one another. These bodies are the negative mind, the positive mind, and the neutral mind. The negative mind's job is to protect you. It gives you the power of discernment and containment. It's like a computer program that's always scanning for danger, which has value when it's balanced with the positive mind, the third body. And the positive mind's job is to project you forward. It gives you the ability to see all the exciting opportunities and imagine beneficial outcomes. Right away, you might notice that you skew toward more than one than the other. For example, my husband has a very powerful negative mind, meaning he's extremely discerning, detail-oriented. He's always thinking things through and imagining all the possible outcomes of a scenario. While I, on the other hand, tend to skew more towards the positive mind. I often don't think through the consequences quite as much. I'm more impulsive and excitable. I just see possibility. One is not better than the other. The critical idea here is that both have value. It's just interesting to notice where you tend to have more energy in your subtle body. The neutral mind, the fourth body, is that win-win mentality where you're seeing the opportunities, projecting forward, and balancing that with information about the potential risks. You see all the options, like a bird up in the sky, from a place of neutrality. The job of the neutral mind is to evaluate input of your positive and negative mind and then give you guidance from a non-dual viewpoint, meaning from that witness consciousness type perspective, where you're not caught up in either or thinking, but you have a wide, broad perspective and are finding creative solutions. The best way to strengthen this part of your subtle body anatomy, the neutral mind, is to meditate. Next, Yogi Bhajan says we have a physical body, the body temple that houses your 9 other bodies and is the energy of manifestation. Then the last bodies are very nuanced: the arc line, the aura, the pranic body, the subtle body, and the radiant body. Think of your aura like a protective electromagnetic energy that surrounds you like a force field. It also can be projective or protective. It can attract things towards you, or it can repel certain things away. The subtle body is very similar to your soul body, and the radiant body is the sum of all your energies together. It's the highest and most noble of the 10 bodies because it encapsulates all of them and is deeply connected with your crown chakra. And if you feel like this is getting a little confusing, that's because it is. In the description box below, I've linked my blog post that goes into much more detail on each of the 10 bodies, the signs of imbalance and balance in each one, and how to better navigate that aspect of your internal anatomy with suggested practices. I've also linked down there my 30-hour Kundalini Demystified course, which explains the wearing of white, Gurmukhi chanting, Sikh turbans, the controversy around Yogi Bhajan, and all of those Kundalini yoga concepts you may feel are confusing or intimidating right now. But don't click away yet because it's time to unpack our next concept, the Vayus. See, the 10 bodies are Yogi Bhajan's dissection or subdivision of the energy body. The Vayus, on the other hand, describe the way prana, energy, moves through your system. Like, does it move up or down or all around or in a zigzag? Think about water in nature. Sometimes you see water and it's stagnant, like in a swamp. Sometimes it has the current of the tide coming in or the pull of the tide coming out. Sometimes water has a lot of directionality, like a stream or a waterfall or a running rapid. The same way we can divide how water moves, yogis categorized how the winds or currents of the energy in your body move. And these are called the Vayus, which literally translate to mean winds or currents. So big picture, prana, energy, moves within 72,000 nadis or meridian channels in our body. But the Vayus explain the current of how this energy is moving. There are 5 overarching movement patterns, or Vayus. Prana, the first category of movement, is also called prana, which is confusing. But this is the internalizing current. Think of energy entering the body. Think down and in, like eating an apple and it moves down my esophagus, or watching TV and my eyes taking in the show, or nutrients entering into the body of a cell. All of that would be an example of the first category of movement, prana, this internalizing current. Samana is the assimilating current, the equalizing energy. Think of this like your digestive energy that turns food into either fuel or waste. Samana is this energy of assessing and processing. Vyana is a circulating current, energy that's moving through you. It's everywhere and all around, like the glucose from that apple, for example, being distributed to all the cells in your body that need it. Udana is the upward and outward moving energy. Think of it like expressed energy, like talking or expressing yourself or vomiting. And then finally, apana is the downward and outward moving energy, meaning energy that's no longer needed. Think of the energy or the current of elimination, going to the bathroom, removing waste from the body that's no longer needed. The most powerful apana, downward and outward energy I've ever experienced were my contractions during labor. If thinking about all these 5 currents feels overwhelming, a major hack I use and recommend to my online yoga teacher training students is to simply think about balancing prana, the first one, and apana, the last one. Prana, the down and in energy, meaning what are you consuming? Is it serving you? And apana, the down and outward energy. Where do you need to let go? Can you release what's not needed, both emotionally and energetically? When you balance these two, everything else naturally tends to fall into place. Now, at this point of the video, you might be wondering how to gain a greater awareness of these 10 bodies and your energy. You might be wondering, is how my prana is moving affecting things in my life, like migraines, digestive issues, insomnia, low back pain, or emotional issues or challenges I'm facing? And that's why your next step is to watch this video all about chakra balancing, where I'll guide you through how to investigate both your physical and emotional symptoms so you know what area, what aspect of your pranic body you should focus on first. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. From my heart to yours. Namaste.